Welcome back to the Whiskey Couch with me, Gustav Miller, as your host. Today's whiskey is yet another world best whiskey. It is the Crown Royal Northern Harvest Rye Whiskey from Canada. In the 2016 Whisky Bible, this whiskey received the World Whisky of the Year award. In other words, the best whiskey of the year. Crown Royal Northern Harvest Rye from Canada. It's a 90% rye whiskey. The mash bill consists of 90% rye. Only information that they give, which is very interesting because usually when distilling American bourbon or American whiskey, usually the mash bill consists of between 70 and 80% corn, and the rest is made up of partially rye and malted barley or sometimes wheat. So the extra grains added to the 70 to 80% corn is called flavor grains. So they add complexity and flavor to basically the corn whiskey. But this is a 90% rye whiskey. Rye gives you very strong and distinctive flavor, so one can expect quite a rugged and robust whiskey right here. Crown Royal was first introduced to America in 1939. It's owned by Diageo, and it is situated in the area of Gimli, Manitoba, on the shores of Lake Winnipeg. The back of the bottle here is a very interesting story in fine print how they grow the rye grain used in this whiskey. It is planted during the fall and then it sprouts and then it's covered by winter snow. And then as the snow melts, it will complete its growth during spring and summer. And then they have the perfect grain for this whiskey. So quite a specialized growth cycle in order to get the kind of grain that they need for this whiskey. The kind of rye grain for this whiskey. A burnished gold color. You can see there against my shirt, burnished gold, quite a darkish gold color. Now the website, the Crown Royal website says that one can expect on the nose some baking spices, cereal and wood spices. So you can see the rugged and spiciness, lots of spices there on the nose. Taste-wise on the palate, you can expect oak, butterscotch, spiced vanilla, soft pepper, and the finish, according to the website, smooth and creamy. We'll see if we agree with that today. 2016 best whiskey in the world according to Jim Murray in the Whisky Bible. Bottled at 45% ABV, alcohol by volume. There is a corn sweetness, which is now probably a grain sweetness. And I agree with the baking spices. There's some beautiful baking spices. Vanilla, butterscotch, and a little bit solventy. I'm picking up some apples, but dusted with a strongish spice like nutmeg. Alcohol burn, a slight alcohol burn on the nose. Interesting nose, not as strong and rugged as I would have expected. Apparently in all of the different warehouses, they have around 2 million barrels at the moment maturing. Crown Royal, different kinds of Canadian whiskey maturing. Yep. Spicy, all kinds of spices. Some bitterness, a hint of sweetness, a hint of vanilla, but lots of candied orange, but the bitter side of candied orange, like orange marmalade, a little bit of apple, so the rye sweetness just sort of hinting in the background. I agree with the website's oak and butterscotch, and but bottom line, very, very spicy. Yeah, there's just a hint of sweetness. There's just a hint of apple. It sets your mouth on fire. This is a fiery whiskey. The finish is not smooth and creamy for me. Personally, I have a warm, glowing finish, and I have that orange peel, that orange marmalade persisting. Bottled at 45%, so one can easily add a few drops of water just to see what is going to happen with a few drops of water. Maybe it'll loosen up some sweetness just to balance it out, because it's overly spicy. A little bit more vanilla and a tiny bit more sweetness. Yes, candied sweetness and less of an alcohol burn on the nose. Definitely better, but the bitter marmalade persists. It's almost like there's a bitter chocolate, dark chocolate now appearing on the scene. I must say, in conclusion, for me personally, not my favorite American or Canadian whiskey. Not my favorite whiskey in general at all. But a very interesting whiskey. I looked forward to actually try this 90% rye whiskey. So it just shows you how subjective this whole process can be. If you want to pair this with a food snack, I was thinking to connect with the orange notes, the orange marmalade and orange and chocolatey notes of this whiskey. So I've got a Jaffa cake covered with a thin layer of dark chocolate, and then in the bubble there is an orange center, and I'm hoping that that'll connect with this whiskey. Before I do that, cost wise, apparently $30, so really an entry level Crown Royal whiskey. It actually works quite well. The orange and the orange, it's enhancing the orange flavors, but the sweet side of it, and it's toning down on the bitter spicy side. So the food snack pairing is actually bringing a bit of balance, which makes this a much more pleasant experience. So very interesting. Crown Royal Northern Harvest Rye 2016 Best Whiskey. Not for me, but still interesting experience. Thanks for watching. See you again tomorrow for more whiskey tasting, more whiskey reviews, and more whiskey and food pairing. Cheers.